Welcome to the Gamer Dad podcast, where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering. We strive to make things fun, fit it into our busy lives, families, and keep things casual, and show you how you can too. I'm GamerDadBob, a nearly 30-year Magic the Gathering veteran who has played formats from Legacy to Standard to Commander. And call me Fibblethip, because I am just lost with the direction of Magic the Gathering. I'm an IT manager, lover of sports, go Bills, role-playing games, and a father of one very active 4-year-old who has told Santa he wants a puppy and a new Power Wheels for Christmas this year. So, just small Christmas things to work out here. And he's probably not getting either, so disappointment on the stack. With me, as always, is Jessehogie.
So I have both of those. You experienced the puppy, and our Power Wheels, we have to buy another battery for it, and that costs $100.
It cost $100.
Keep that in mind.
Holy crap.
Keep that in mind. And you experienced the puppy when you were here visiting.
Your puppy was great. She was adorable and a very good doggo. So this month's episode is called Where to Next. And with much consternation, Jesse and I struggled to come up with ideas for this episode. And really what we're doing is piggybacking kind of our talks on Universes Beyond and the state of Magic the Gathering. So here's where we're at. We last left our heroes in Duskmourn, where stuff happens. I'm going to be real with you. They lost me after the Phyrexian stuff. Like, the Planeswalkers, are they dead? Are they completed? Oh, wait, magic happens. Now they're fixed. And then I listened to the story summary of Bloomburrow, and like, really where we're at with this is Bloomburrow felt like one of those throwaway anime beach episodes that every anime series has. Like, they're going to the beach and boys are going to hit on girls and get rejected and all the other goofy stuff that happens. But really, Jesse, isn't that what every Magic the Gathering set feels like right now? Is a throwaway episode from an anime? Like, Murders at Karlov Manor is the detective episode. Something happened. Outlaws of Thunder Junction is the Wild West episode, where all the girls are wearing skimpy cowboy outfits. I mean, where are we at here? Bloomburrow's in the forest. Duskmourn is the ghost story episode. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Remember that show?
I love that show.
Freaking loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? So we're now into like just these fully episodic sets. There's no more deep world building. Everything is just boom, 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 one set after another. And they're here for the quick sales. And really what it feels like Wizards of the Coast is doing right now is just trying to hit every pop culture trope imaginable and profit off of it. The big question I keep coming back to, and I'm going to ask this a bunch of times during this podcast, is, do the consumers actually care? Do people care that there's no depth to these sets? Do they care about that? And then, as we take this a step further, what are we adding to all this now? More Universes Beyond. So not even Magic the Gathering IP. In fact, in the announcement, they mentioned Magic the Gathering, the quintessential IP. And it's like, wait a minute, isn't Magic Magic? So on WotC's announcement on October 25th during MagicCon Vegas, they're all in. They are all in on Universes Beyond. And by that, I mean 50% of sets on the annual are going to be Universes Beyond. 6 sets a year. 3 are Universes Beyond, half of them. And in February, look out, we get this exciting Mad Max Mario Kart story of Aether Drift, which is this interplanar race for a prize known as the Aether Spark. I can't get excited for this. I just can't. What are we doing here? We're continuing to experience this Planar Whiplash, which I'm trademarking someday. And in all seriousness, doesn't this further break the immersion into the world building? Is the Magic story dead? I mean, will we even get a story for these Universes Beyond? I can't imagine. How are they going to develop Spider-Man? How are they going to do that? So now we only move the story forward 3 times a year. Does that make sense, Jesse?
That there is no story moving anymore, in my opinion. They had the 30 years, or should I say probably 28 and a half years of story building. And now they're like, okay, this is what we have. Now we're just going to kind of not do it anymore and just do the episodes, like you said, to cash in on whatever is popular over the last year or so, because obviously they say they're building this stuff multiple years in advance.
Right.
So what was popular 3 years ago? Think about that. There's
Stranger
not
Things.
any more story building in like a giant overarching story. I don't think it's just gonna be a little tiny monster of the week. Here's this here, here's this here. There's no overall story behind anything because it's all gone. It's all out the window. It doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, don't get me wrong. People really got bored with Jace and the original 5, and to the point where they got rid of a Johnny and brought in Gideon. And what'd they do with Gideon? Well, they friggin' killed him. And for all intents and purposes, Jace should be dead too. He was completed by the Phyrexians. Vraska, same thing. And lo and yeehaw, behold, they're hanging out in Outlaws of Thunder Junction just fine. And this is a lot to take in for me. This is a culture shock. This is, I can't even describe it. For someone who's been following Magic the Gathering as long as I have, as you have, Jesse, and I know I am much more into the story than you, and we've said this before on the podcast as well, but it's harder to invest in a product that feels so cookie cuttery tropey now that there's no heart behind it. It's weird to me. And now we've got this Ether Drift, and what did we see? They're going to Kaladesh and Amonkhet, and then a third plane
one that's to be determined. Yeah,
that we haven't been to it in a long time, or never been to it, or something like that. And it's supposed to refresh all of our fervor for Magic the Gathering. And what is this Ether Spark?
It feels to me like they have like two camps. They have the old school people like us who are invested in the story, or at least know the story and enjoy the story, and you have the new people that they're trying to get new customers for. And they see the new customers all into Fortnite and all this. Their attention spans are so small, they're not going to pay attention long enough to have a 3-story block, or 3-set block, I should say. So now they're shifting everything to the new people. They're shifting everything to the new business, the new players. And they're doing just enough to keep the old players satiated and interested in it. Whereas, okay, the old players are really interested in Commander, so let's give them all these legendaries so they get excited about Commander.
Yeah, let's continue cramming legendaries down
everybody else. Let's start releasing sets based on whatever's popular that everybody likes, which is where Universes Beyond comes in. That's where they get the people, and then they're trying to blend the two, and they're doing an absolutely horrendous job of doing that.
Oh, and now they're going to be in standard legal. We are going to have Spider-Man standard legal, and I'm not sure. What am I trying to say? I don't buy into their reasoning behind making these sets standard legal and legal everywhere else. Like, people apparently got confused that they were only Modern and Legacy legal.
No one I have ever talked to since Secret Lairs have come out has ever gotten confused.
Right?
No one. Granted, I mostly discuss Magic with veterans. I rarely talk to new people. I had a couple people around my area that I played that were new, but it never came up because all they played was Commander. They never played Standard. They never played Modern. All they played those formats are veterans. You can't tell me that somebody that's new coming into Magic is going to want to spend thousands of dollars on a Modern deck or a Legacy deck. It's not going to happen.
No.
Either buy a $50 pre-con off the shelf for Commander, or they're going to throw together Red Deck Wins in Standard for $5 and go that way. Nobody that's new is going to get into the older stuff because it's too expensive.
No, and let's face it. I mean, in all fairness, Red Deck Wins is almost everybody's entry level into Standard. It's reliable, it's affordable. Hell, it's fun to play. For I'm doing a lot of damage. I might not win, but man, I almost got there. The thrill, the ecstasy of victory and the thrill of defeat. How's that go? It's 9:00 at night on a weekday. I worked a long day. I'm missing on the cliches here, but like, Red Deck Wins is that quintessential entry level deck into Standard. And boy, guess what the most popular deck in Arena is right now?
Red Deck Wins and Boros, basically the same thing, just splashing white.
Yeah, and they're cheap, fast, affordable decks, and you can get them on Arena with a lot of commons. You don't need to play very long to get those decks, and then that's all you need to do. Who did we see do a climb in Arena to Mythic from a fresh account? Did Crokies do that last year?
I think so, yeah.
It was an insane run.
And he played Mono Red.
And he played Mono Red almost the entire time.
I think Jim Davis is doing that right now, actually.
Is he? I believe that. Jim's a great player. He's fun to watch.
I guarantee he's not doing Mono Red.
Oh.
I guarantee he's doing something else.
Okay. So entry level's cheap on this. But to your point, Jesse, and answered my question, who's confused by this Universes Beyond? That was the primary reasoning behind switching things to fully legal everywhere going forward. I don't know.
More of our marketing team and our senior leadership is confused, so we're changing it so we can talk about Magic because that's our only moneymaker right now.
Yeah, that's right. Our leadership team doesn't actually understand the product. They understand data, dollar bills, growth charts, and other things. So what makes this more profitable? Put it in standard. Yep. Is that where we're at? It's
already in Commander. It was already in Commander. And Commander is by far and away the most popular format in Magic.
Yep.
So I mean, we looked last time, we talked about how many standard events are firing off in our local areas, and there's none.
No.
This isn't going to change that. Not one single bit.
No, it's painful. It hurts. I'm sad. I'm legitimately sad by the way that this is going with the story and everything. I really enjoyed the Planeswalker books, like the Chandra book, the Tezzeret book, because you're following them. The Jace book, you're following them through the multiverse as the stories are playing out. The new Phyrexia books following Karn and Venser were awesome. I don't think people give those books enough credits, and it all fell on its face with the War of the Spark book, which I didn't actually read. Apparently it was god awful. I don't know. But how bad was it? Did they accidentally retcon stuff? What happened? Why was it so awful? I truly don't know. But I do know, in following our communities and everything else, that book was universally hated.
Yeah, I can see them from where I'm sitting. I have older books like Eventide and back in those days. I have those books, but I don't have the Planeswalker books.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the first book, like Arena?
Yep. Brothers War, those type of books? I have those.
Yep. I have Artifacts Cycle Book 1, which is the Thran and the Brothers War. And do you know how much, by the way, tangent, do you know how much the second book in that cycle costs right now, used?
Oh, it's got to be close to $100. $200. Holy moly.
$200 used. And I remember looking at them in the bookstore and going, man, I should pick these up for, sticker price on them. And I never did. I got Artifacts 1 for Christmas, and Artifacts 2 never showed up the next year. And, now I'm finding myself extra nostalgic. I'm chasing pieces of Magic the Gathering that I loved back in the day. And I'm wondering if that's going to continue for me. My wife just got me a really cool gift. I posted in our Discord. It's the rules book, the How to Play Magic from Ice Age that we talked about. And it's amazing.
I used to take those to the bathroom with me.
That's it. It was the best bathroom reading as a kid. Because we didn't have smartphones and other stuff. And
my dad's dirty magazines or the back of a shampoo bottle.
The shampoo bottles. That was it. What do you mean rinse and repeat? I don't need to rinse and repeat. Yeah, they were the best bathroom reading. I remember reading the revised one the most, trying to learn how to play. And I was flipping through this Ice Age one. And I mean, they try to put in writing how a turn would go. No pictures. Imagine this is on the battlefield, and then you do this, and your opponent does this, and this is how the turn would go, and you're literally just reading it. There's no YouTube video. There's no tutorial. You just have to figure it out as you're reading these instructions and hoping that translates in your mind how to play the game. So maybe I'm just craving the old stuff now.
That goes back to short attention span. Nobody's going to pick up a rule book and read it.
No. Why do that? Magic the Gathering Arena does it for you.
Yep. I'm curious this is kind of another tangent, how somebody who's only played Arena, how their first game of paper Magic would go.
I don't know if they have a taste for playing.
Yeah, because none of the stuff is kept track of. All the triggers are manual. Like I guarantee it would just be a complete shit show.
Yeah, it's got to be a challenge for them. Like, and even like a sanctioned event like an FNM, let's say a standard actually fired, they got to keep track of their stuff.
Yep.
By rule, it's not a competitive REL, but it's still a sanctioned match. You still get wins and losses. You sign sheets in some places, and that's that. I don't know. I mean, do you have anything to add or subtract to my diatribe on where we're at in the pop culture anime episodes and where we're headed here with everything?
I think I've said this before. I honestly think this whole 50% Universes Beyond is just the start. Like, give it, I'd say 3 years, and it will be 80% Universes Beyond. And
gosh, that's scary.
3 years, like 10 years from now, let's say, you're looking at maybe one set a year, and that's just going to be Foundations. That's it. I'll go on the record now. Within either 5 or 10 years from now. So Foundations 2 is in 5 years, or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Or Foundations 3 in 10 years. That is going to be the only Magic lore set. Everything else is going to be Universes Beyond.
Jeez. I don't think I like that.
Magic Universes Beyond to NFL. You ready to see your boy Josh Allen be a Planeswalker?
He should be. Gosh darn it.
That's easy. Red, white, and blue. That's the Bills colors, right?
Yep, that's a lot of teams' colors. But yeah, I mean, you could probably argue that for your New York Giants as well.
The shirt, you can't see it on this hoodie because I'm too embarrassed to be shown in public with a Giants.
I'm wearing my Is It League shirt tonight, so it just happened to be the top shirt on my pile of clean laundry. Yeah, I'm at a loss here. I really am, and this is such a sad podcast and topic for us and everything, and it's hard to talk about. You know, we saw the professor's take on the Universes Beyond, and he just looked defeated filming that.
He did. I saw a tweet from him before, while I was putting my kid to bed, that he gets all kinds of hate messages of people blaming him for Universes Beyond because he didn't speak out enough.
Yes, that's right. He's the driving force behind Wizards of the Coast making decisions.
Clearly, these people aren't watching his actual videos because he is incredibly critical about Universes Beyond, but he is constructive.
Yeah, I was going to say he's critical but fair, and that's something we aim to do as well. I mean, an outsider could listen to 5 minutes of our podcast and be like, "Oh God, these guys again! It's just all boomer magic, doom and gloom." But I think we come prepared. I like to have data to talk about. I like talking points with data so that we can back things up and have those critical discussions and be critical of the game that we love. I think that's fair. You know, even last podcast, come on, give us some credit. We were excited about Foundations.
Yeah. I still think it's, foundationally, it's a good set. You know, there's a lot of cool cards in it. There's a lot of interactions in it. But you know what? And this is just based on my arena experience. It changed diddly squat.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely nothing. I'm sitting here. My first deck that I built was Golgari Elves because I love Lathril. I love, Elvish Archdruid and all those. And guess what? It wins maybe 40% of the time.
That's not enough to climb.
I played Malone's Felidar High Noon deck. Guess what? It wins maybe 50% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
At least with me in lowly gold because I can't get out of there. But it's nothing new is making an impact. With all those cards, nothing new is making a single bit of impact. It's all mono red.
So let's explore that a little bit more before we have a new feature coming to our podcast, and we'll take a break for that. So stay tuned there. But let's explore that a little bit because Magic the Gathering Arena sent us a survey today.
Oh, they did. I was not nice in that survey.
And it had some very interesting questions. And it was very much focused around the Arena product. And clearly you and I weren't disqualified from the survey based on our initial answers. So we got in and I got the full survey. It took me a whole 10 minutes to fill out.
Yeah, it was short.
They're really exploring the format, and they want to understand why it's fun for people or why it's not fun for people. Now, what are they going to do with that data? Who the hell knows? But they asked some questions out there that I was like, are you happy with Magic the Gathering Arena? And most certainly not. There's Sparky is a terrible AI. They asked if you'd like a practice mode feature. I don't know what that would be, but it would be pretty awesome to me. They really touched on Two-Headed Giant. They touched on Commander, 4-player. They wanted to know what paper formats we play, what digital formats we play, what our favorite formats are in Arena.
What video games in general we play.
Yeah.
What other card games we play.
Do you play tabletop Dungeons and Dragons? That was a box that I checked off also. So it was a very comprehensive survey, and they left a lot there for their feedback. And we're never going to see this data, right, Jesse? I mean, we're never going to see this data. I really continue to wonder how bad it is from our demographic.
Yeah, I guarantee, because they had age brackets like mine. I think it was like 34 to 45 or 35 to 44 or something.
Yeah, we fall under the same demographic still.
Yeah, I guarantee like the positivity is going to be at the younger, and then as soon as you get older, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And they're going to say, okay, this age bracket is the positive age bracket, so this is what we're going to cater to. This is the majority of the happy people. This is the majority of the people that are buying the product. We'll cater to them. The rest is just going to be, cost of doing business.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about it this week in particular. I know you were streaming Best of One a little bit on Twitch the other day. Is Arena the tool that you actually enjoy Magic the Gathering at this point?
No, not at all. Like I have said it before. I'm moving to other stuff. Like I'm playing Marvel Snap a lot more lately because it's just like the quick game kind of thing, but it just feels better in a way because it's not the same stuff. Granted, I played it when it first came out 2 years ago, and I'm getting back into it now, but so it's more fresh for me. And there are people that have been in it the whole time that are complaining, saying that it's dying. So it has the same problems that Arena does. But Arena it feels like the same exact game. Like I played during my lunch today, like three games. Every game was against Boros. So, and this wasn't even on the ladder. This was just play because I was trying to get my daily quests done. Yep. And it's just, and on the ladder, it's either Boros, Mono Red, or the Oculus decks.
Right.
So it just, and I'm aware that different brackets, like different, like gold, platinum, are different metas. But man, and Brawl is the same thing. Like the Brawl, it's the way they group you in Brawl and pair you up in Brawl is like they have some hidden thing where they weigh certain cards a certain way. So if I build a deck that has a couple strong cards, I go against these degenerate things that I have no chance against.
Yeah, and that's not fun. I'm still trying to figure out what's the point. Like, I know that sounds silly. What's the point in Magic the Gathering Arena, guys? What's the point at all? Is there a point?
Is to keep your attention, to take your time and take your money and kick you on the way out. We'll see you next week with a new variant that you're going to want to have because you're going to have the fear of missing out. And we'll give you a couple more quests to chase, and then that's it. Move on to the next.
Yeah,
so we keep you for half an hour. We just want that 15 minutes every day to show that people are still actively engaged.
Right.
So more investor money.
Right. That's the corporate point. But like, what is there to be gained by a grinder? Let's take Matt from our pod, right? Matt doesn't spend any money or very little money on Arena. And he grinds all his cards with just coins and gems and earnings from dailies and winning and everything else. But why? Why is Matt still doing that? I mean, in all seriousness.
It's a good question.
Why is he still playing? Why is he still doing this?
Now where I used to try to grind to get to Mythic. And now it's like, maybe I'll grind to Platinum. And because when you hit Platinum, man, that's when it really starts getting slow. Because like the two stars or whatever and gold, and then Platinum's one. Now, granted, you could do best of three, but I don't have time to do best of three.
Right.
I don't know the point anymore because it's not really that fun.
What's the reward?
There is no reward besides your wallet being lighter.
That's where I'm trying to. That's where my disconnect is right now in playing Arena, and that's probably why I spend most of my time just brewing stupid decks and throwing them up against Sparky to see if the decks do anything. Right. But what's the reward for making platinum?
Nothing. That little feeling inside saying, "Get it."
And so you jammed several hundred games to get into platinum, and that's it, right? That's that intrinsic reward. There's very little reward in the game outside of the form of some gold and gems. I know you have over 100K gold squirreled away, right, or something like that.
No, I'm down to like 12, I think.
Oh, all right.
Because I used it to buy. I think I bought is it 90 packs of Foundation or whatever. Like the last couple sets, I've used the gems to get the 90 packs there.
Okay, but what else is there? These are just digital cards that we're spending our money on sometimes, and time. We're voting with our time.
Time is the engagement, is what it is, and nothing's going to change as long as that engagement is still there.
Is Magic the Gathering Arena just a giant commercial for their product?
It's a giant commercial for other products.
Other products.
They just get paid for it. They're a giant advertising machine now. You can get Marvel will pay them a certain amount to have a set. Final Fantasy or whoever owns Final Fantasy will pay
Square Enix
will pay them a certain amount to have this set. Walking Dead paid them a certain amount to have this set. They're just a giant walking billboard now, just in a little tiny card form.
That's what it feels like. That's what Arena feels like. It's just a front as a commercial. That's all it is. It's just it's that first hit, and then, man, Brawl is kind of fun. What's this Commander format? And now I'm spending real life money on singles, cards, packs, and everything else, boxes. So I'm double dipping my hard-earned cash potentially.
Unless you're smart like me and proxy everything.
I'm definitely going to say that I like to proxy too. And I don't have this in our notes, but this is a really good opportunity to talk about that with the Universes Beyond announcement, with the 6 sets a year, with all the Commander sets, with all the subsequent materials and everything else. My threshold on price point for when I will proxy cards is continuing to creep down. So when we first started playing Commander in our pod, I was proxying stuff over $20. And anything over $20, I was like, that's just too much for a single card, especially if it goes in like most of my decks. Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. Great green card, goes in most of your green decks, gives you all forests, helps out. Now I knocked it down to 10. Now I will proxy cards $10 or over. Well, guess what? You know what my number is now? What do you think?
My number is $1.
$1.
So
mine is at $3. I'm at $3. Any card over $3, I'm very hesitant to buy a real one of, and I will be proxying the other ones.
Yep.
It's just it hurts me to give them money on these things. Even if it's the secondary market, they still had to be purchased somewhere. Wizards of the Coast still had to get that money somewhere.
I was thinking about it today during lunch. I can't remember the video I was watching, but that's my threshold, and I'm really to the point now where I think I'm only going to buy singles from my local game store. Like, I'm not going to go on to TCG Player or any of those other sites because they're just as bad. They're part of the problem, just like everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want, these cheap singles, I'm going to go and see if my local game store has them.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm going to proxy them.
My local game store is a little bit further away than yours, so I am not there that frequently.
Like my deck that I'm debuting tomorrow. Now, granted, it's Wolverine, which goes against everything that we're talking about because we don't like Universes Beyond. But it's 100%. Every single card is a proxy.
Yep,
100%. If I bought the cards non-proxy, it would have cost me $1,000.
Oof.
And this deck cost me $100. I paid $117 because I also proxied the My Little Pony stuff for my 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
I bought them each a playset of the 8 cards, and they have not put them down since I gave them to them yesterday. But it was $100 for the deck. That would have cost $1,000.
There you go, 10% the cost. And
even if I wanted to actually get the real Universes Beyond cards, I wouldn't have been able to because I'd have to sit in a queue for 4 hours, get to the end of the queue to tell me that it's already sold out.
That may or may not have happened to lots of people the other week.
Yeah, because you have people that were cheating the system and just skipping the line and buying like 10 at a time and now they're reselling them for 10 times what they paid for them.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Like you went on TCG Player that very afternoon, and there were individual sellers with like 10 of that rare arcane signet.
Yeah, you had people like, I think the professor he had a video about it. He was sitting in line for 4 hours.
Yep.
And Amy, Amazonian, she was sitting in line for however many hours and was told, and she actually said that she got DMs from people saying, hey, use this link, and it bypasses it, and she did it. I don't blame her. She did it. Like, if Wizards has stupid enough, incompetent people that can't have their own system work, then they deserve it.
Yeah, the Qt technology or whatever the heck it is, it was bypassable or exploitable or whatever, and scalpers knew that. Oh, yeah. I bet scalpers knew that.
You know how much more money they'd make if they just made it print on demand? Like, I don't get it. I do not get it.
The scarcity is not. I don't know.
I mean, this set, like the Marvel stuff, the Secret Lair was so much demand for it. They could have probably made 10 times the profit they made if they just made it print on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know, you got the money, how much it's going to cost to actually print it and ship it and all that stuff. But I guarantee they
build that into their pricing model.
Yeah, they'd make millions more. Guarantee it, because so many people want the Marvel stuff. Now, granted,
I would have gotten it.
Yeah, I think they missed the Marvel train by about 5 years. Like 5 years ago, or whenever. And I've been so out of it. Like maybe when Endgame, like Avengers Endgame, when like the true.
When was Endgame?
I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was the first Marvel movie I watched since Logan. So I'm way out of it.
2019, Jesse. 5 years.
So I was close. I said 5 years.
Yeah.
So if they would have done it 5 years ago, and say, I don't know what year the first Secret Lair was for Walking Dead, but if like Marvel was the first Secret Lair,
yep,
that would have sold like freaking hotcakes. Especially if they did it around Endgame. Like, come on.
I think The Walking Dead was 2018.
Yeah, so that would have made perfect sense.
When was that released? Wrong, Bob. 2020.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
So to your point, Marvel could have scooped them.
Yeah. Now, granted, I know, I'm surprised they did a Marvel Secret Lair or anything because they have Marvel Snap, so that was a surprise. But yeah, they really should have made it print on demand. They would have sold so many more.
2020, October, 5 cards, 6 tokens.
Really? So that was post-pandemic. That's crazy.
During the pandemic.
Yeah. Post-lockdown, I should say.
Yeah, there you go.
Or in the middle of the lockdown. Like, that was right around Tiger King, wasn't it? I think Tiger King was in the fall of 2020.
I mean, my son was 8 months old at that point.
My oldest was 4 years old, and my youngest was born in 2019, so she was a little over a year old.
Yeah, so I was not buying Walking Dead stuff.
Nope. I was fully out of Magic then. I was playing Hearthstone. So
yeah, we all were.
Yeah, and Arena, I think Arena Beta was around then.
Yep. Oh God, this is so much to unpack. All right, so let's jump into a little fun section that Jesse floated, and I absolutely love this idea. So what Jesse wants to do is Jesse and I are going to read off something, and we're going to kind of quiz each other, and we're going to quiz this, and we're going to say, is this flavor text or a song lyric? And then at the end of the podcast, we're going to come back to it, and we're going to name the song or the card that the flavor text is from. So Jesse, do you want to go first or second?
I can go first. Now I have 2.
Oh boy.
I have one of each, but I'm only going to give you one.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know if it's going to be hard or what, but I feel like it'll be easy because I don't want to make it too hard to start with. So this is it. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And no, like people watching the stream can see no, you can write it down if you want, but no Googling it, nothing like that. Because this is one, if you Google it, it will automatically pop up.
Yeah.
If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
Oh God. I'm going
flavor text, and you answer at the end of the podcast.
I'm stuck on this. I'm all right. All right. I'm going to think on this. All right. I've got it for you. All right. So Jesse, yours is, ours is pretty interesting because we accidentally theme them here. Yours says, now you can't escape. You are buried in doubt, and it pulls you down.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
Flavor text or song lyrics? All right.
We'll see at the end.
So, let's talk a little bit more about this 6-set season thing, because this was kind of snuck in, kind of railroaded us here with that big announcement. This isn't groundbreaking in itself. We're seeing more and more sets that are standard legal year after year, where they're just getting crammed into our faces with all the commander releases and set releases and everything else. We used to be on only 2 planes a year, though. 3 sets per plane over a year span, not the calendar year, but a year span. And then a core set in the summer, usually, right?
Yeah, usually like August, September timeframe for core sets.
And the sets were smaller. I keep going back to like Mirrodin Besieged. I seem to remember that was only like a 180 card set. That's just ludicrous today. Could you imagine Magic trying to sell a 180 card set and pass it off at the same price they're doing everything? People would revolt. And by the way, have we seen those new whatever the hell boosters they are yet? Weren't they introducing those with Foundations or Bloomborough?
What was that? There's the play boosters, but there was something else.
There was that other goofy, and we mentioned it in a podcast.
That were like, they only have the chance of a rare.
Yeah.
I don't think they have them anymore. I don't think they did it.
I haven't seen them in stores. And so as of this recording, with Magic the Gathering Foundations in standard play, there are over 3,200 cards that are standard legal, according to the Magic the Gathering wiki, give or take. Pulling some other data from spring 2021, okay? Just then, 3 years ago, standard capped at 2,100 cards that were legal. We've gotten 1,100 more cards. So this 3-year rotation is legit. It is really piling on the cards. And next year, we're on 3 different planes. We have 3 different universes beyond sets. None of it feels like it's following any continuity. Again, I've mentioned I'm not like super Vorthos to the point where I'm going to nitpick over whether Gideon has a part in the middle or the side of his hair, but I do care enough that it goes along with the cards. You know, we see this in WotC's press information that there are story highlight cards, right? This was a big event in the story, and it's on a card. It's gone. It just no longer feels like Magic the Gathering days of old. And by that, I think I just mean pre-pandemic stuff. I mean,
the
even
pandemic seems to be a turning point, one of the turning points in Magic, and a lot of other things too.
I don't know what I feel like in it. It just doesn't. It's hollow. It rings hollow.
So back on the booster point, they're called value boosters.
Value boosters.
They were only in Bloomborough. Nobody has ever actually seen them. Hardly. They are selling on eBay as Magic the Gathering Bloomborough Walmart Value Booster Pack. And they're selling on eBay for $12.
Get the hell out.
It's supposed to be $3. They are nowhere. They are absolutely nowhere. It was only Bloomborough. Only Bloomborough. So it's 3 commons, 2 uncommons, and a wild card that could be anything.
Wow. $12 for that on eBay.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Hard pass.
Hard pass.
Wow. Does this even feel like Magic anymore? I guess I'm just sad. Because the game that we've loved over the last 30 years is stronger financially than ever. Like, it is the strongest it's been. Their profits are the highest it's ever been.
But that's because they're stuffing so much down our throats.
It's a volume game, is what you're saying.
Volume game. It's it's quantity over quality now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the quality is dipping or was dipping. And you mentioned War of the Spark. I'm sure it started before that. But the quality started dipping to the point where it's like people are upset. They're like, okay, we can't sell based on quality.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just flood the market, and sell as much as we can. Hey, look, it worked. Let's keep doing it. Let's double that.
Double it and give it to the next person.
Chris Cox needs his new yacht, so let's double those because nothing else that we sell is making money.
Oh, that's just
but
embarrassing. How does a CEO that only has one profitable line of business in their business stay that CEO? Like, how's the board?
That profitable line of business has grown so much. They are still profitable.
How does the board not see that? They don't care. They're getting their dividends.
They're getting their money. They're getting their dividends. They're getting their kudos from whoever they're getting their kudos from, saying, hey, good job with another growth quarter, even though it's Magic.
This feels the most hollow that Magic the Gathering has ever felt.
I mean, if you look at the graph or that picture that I posted on our notes here,
yeah,
was that 2017 is when the sets really started coming. Like you have right after 2008 is when they really this started increasing quite a bit. Like pre 2008, there was 6 sets a year or something like that, not that much. And then after that, the product just started piling on and piling on and piling on. And look at 2022; it's off the picture.
Yep,
it's so if you compare 2022 to go back to 2003, there's 5 things on there, 5, and now there's what? I don't know how many are on there, but there's a lot. So, but in 2018, I'm calling that out specifically because Hasbro said that they have a plan to increase their profit by 50% every year. You know how they're doing that? By increasing the amount of Magic released by 50% every year.
That's what it feels like. 50% on top of 50%. Yep. By the way, there are 21 icons in that column.
And that's the one that you can see.
Yeah. It looks like it stops at Brothers War. Granted, that icon.
That doesn't include 2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
Granted, going from 2003 to now is a very big jump. You were talking 20 years. You're talking 2 decades.
Yep.
But holy moly, that is absolutely insane.
And let's talk about when I started playing Standard in 2008.
Yep.
So we have Morningtide, Eventide, Shadowmoor. Is that like a modern Masters, that icon?
It looks like one, yeah.
I don't know what that purple one is.
Shards of Alara.
Then Shards of Alara, and then that was Dual Decks.
Angels and Demons or something like that?
That was Jace versus Chandra.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. I remember that icons. I bought those decks because I thought Planeswalkers were the coolest thing ever once I figured out what the hell they were.
Yeah, and then you have Conflux, Amonkhet, I think it looks like.
No, it's Conflux, Angels versus Demons.
Yeah, that's what I recognize.
Alara Reborn, M10. What the hell is that symbol? Maybe that's the Knights versus Dragons?
Maybe.
Plane Chase.
Plane Chase, yep.
That looks like another modern...
the red is digital release, it says. So maybe that's for MTGO.
Oh, maybe. Zendikar. Slivers? From the vault, maybe? Yeah, from the vault. Slivers. Wow. I mean, I bought all those from the vaults.
And now look how much those are worth if you kept them.
Don't even get me started, dude. I'm sitting in my house because of my Magic collection. We're going to continue to beat that drum. I am sitting in my nice house because of my Magic collection.
The car that's 10 years old is because of my Magic collection. The guitar behind me, one of them, is because of my Magic collection.
We're going to continue to beat that drum that we are better off today because of our cards that we sold at a probable loss. Yep. But these sets, and as you say, it's a steep, curve. They are exponential. I wouldn't say exponentially, but they are, printing them twice over every year now.
Oh yeah,
and that's how you make money. Apparently,
it's it's not like we keep saying magic, but it's not just Magic. It's kind of the world the way that it is now is quality.
True.
I mean, look at the video games that come out. Like and it's not. I'm not kidding here. Every single video game is half done.
Yep.
Full of bugs, and just absolute dog shit when it gets released. I mean, it feels like Magic feels like in Cyberpunk. You remember the quest with the creepy cow and the barn and milking the cow.
Yeah,
Magic feels like the cow. and Hasbro is the creepy dude doing the milking.
Yeah.
And anybody who played Cyberpunk knows exactly what I'm talking about, because you will not sleep well after you listen to this and think about it again.
That is the second most effed up quest in that game.
I know. I remember like going through it, and this is obviously not Religion of Magic, but going through it and like, what am I playing? And I'm like, did that just happen? Like, wow. That's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. And Magic is those people getting milked. Or the cows.
Yeah, it's are we the cows then?
We are
yeah. I'm trying to figure out how this metaphor works.
And Hasbro's the one flicking the switches.
Oh, God. So where do we go from here? Does this affect how you play, how you spend your money right now? I think we already answered that.
How I'm spending my money. I stopped buying Commander Precons. I will not buy Commander Precons anymore.
Yep.
And I am not kidding. I will not buy a single Magic product anymore. It's all going to be Precons. Or not Precons, proxies.
Proxies are singles.
I mean, granted, me buying the packs in Arena, that is me spending money. And the reason why I'm keeping up with that is the hope that Commander comes to Arena. And
exactly.
It is something that we can do, because if we can switch from the not that I hate Spell Table, but switch to that to Arena, it'd be a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because then we could stream wherever we want. We wouldn't need all this equipment with these cameras and those lights and everything. It'd be a lot easier.
And we could probably play more games.
We could play a lot more games.
We could probably get 2 or 3 games in a night.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's that, honestly. Unless someone gets me gifts, like Magic gifts, which I'm not going to say no to. If they want to spend their money and give it to me, other than my wife, who is kind of spending my money, but it's our money. I don't see myself buying anything. I really don't. I have no reason to.
Are others like us? Are others in the same boat as us? Do you guys feel the same way? I mean, let us know in the comments if you guys feel this way. For those of you listening to this podcast, we gotta speak with our wallets on this. Proxying cards is one way to do it. And let me be crystal clear here. When GamerDad Pod talks about proxying cards, we're not counterfeiting cards. We're not trying to pass these off as real cards.
Nope.
We just want to play the game. And
I was going to show you one that the back is clearly not real. It's a
and a Magic card that reads like a Magic card still plays the same, whether it's real or proxied.
Yep.
Over Spell Table, in a sleeve, or whatever. We're not playing sanctioned tournaments. We're not looking for prize money. We just want to play this card game that we love.
Yep. Right here, the Power 9 that I'm pointing to that the listeners won't be able to see, that is 100% proxied. I would not have that much money hanging on my wall if it was real. And you know what? It's not moving from there. I will never.
It still looks cool.
It looks cool. It's like I've had people come over and say, "Oh wow, is that the Power 9?" I'm like, it's. I've always wanted that. Like, you can attest that. Ever since you've known me, you've known I've always wanted. Yep. And guess what? $30.
Yep.
$30 for a nice decoration on my wall versus $100,000 of shit that I'd be scared to even breathe on.
No kidding. Okay, you don't want to devalue it, right? And you know, you do have these expensive guitars and everything, so you do have to maintain the humidity and stuff in your basement properly and all that.
I do.
But
just like the My Little Pony cards I gave my girls. Like, if I would have bought the real ones, I'd spend over $300.
Get out.
Yeah, they're crazy expensive. And now I spent 75 cents a card. I spent less than $8 per girl, and now they can play with them. And if they trash them, guess what? Oh well, I'll buy more.
Yeah,
more. It's not a big deal.
Next time you order proxies, you can just buy more.
Yeah.
So, do the other consumers actually care? And I keep coming back to this because I'm someone who does. I care, but if I'm in the minority here, let us know. Let Gamer Dad Podcast know. Be vocal. Hit me up on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, our Discord. Hit Jesse up. Let us know how you feel about this, because if we're off base, if we are not speaking the same sentiments of the folks who are listening to this, if we're off base, that's fine. I'll shut up and talk about other things, like why Seismic Swans was one of my favorite decks from the end of the Lorwyn Standard days. Like, did you play then?
No.
That deck was so fun. It was like Seismic Assault, Swans of Bryn Argyle, and like Countryside Crusher, and basically you drew your whole deck, and then you threw lands at your opponent's face with Seismic Assault to win. It was a blast. It was a combo deck. It was kind of gimmicky, but it was fun, and it was kind of control-y. So very much Bob style deck. But I mean, I'm happy to talk about that sort of thing too, if that's what you guys want to hear. But we're here to give you guys real takes from 40-plus-year-olds on this format, on where things are, and why we're sad. You're getting sad old dudes, Magic boomers here on this.
We're going against people that are the younger generation that are used to this type of lottery gambling type thing, because all the games these days are around cosmetics, and they're around the taking the chance and seeing what they can get. I mean, if you look like Pokemon, if you look at Fortnite, you look at everything has chests.
Yep.
Have things that you pull something out, you might get something good, you might get something bad. And it's been around for so long. I mean, we're talking today, like I think one of the first examples of it was that horse armor in Skyrim. It was a cosmetic. It had no functional purpose other than, oh, look, it looks different. And now look at the main economy in Marvel Snap is variants. It's
get out.
Look completely different. Now that I'll give it to them. The art is absolutely amazing. Like the art is crazy awesome. But then you have the FOMO overload where it's like, oh, this is only here for 4 days. You don't want to miss out. Oh, you don't have enough of these tokens? Well, you can buy more for $100 and you'll have enough. So it's they're banking on FOMO. They're banking on limited availability and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it's that Japanese gacha games, if that's how you pronounce it, right? Where you open a box and you have a chance of getting the ultra rare thing.
Even McDonald's Happy Meal toys right now. What is a Happy Meal toy now? You probably don't know what it is.
It's Mario Kart.
And guess what? There are 2 variants that are super rare.
Which ones are actually rare? Because I feel like my son has both of them.
The Golden Mario.
Yep.
And the Pink Princess Peach.
He got both.
See, my girls are absolutely beside themselves because we've went 3 times and I got Pink Princess Peach.
Alex has had like four Happy Meals, and the second one he got Gold Mario, the third one he got Rose Gold Peach. He just got Donkey Kong.
And we go out to dinner. Can we get McDonald's again? I want the Pink Princess Peach. It's even infiltrated McDonald's.
There you go.
All of their toys are these toys that have rare variants.
Yep.
To try to make them buy more.
Yep. That's the gotcha thing. Look it up. GACHA. So many games are based on that these days because people keep putting it's slot machine mentality.
Yeah.
I'm eventually going to hit it.
It's all gambling.
It's gambling. It's legalized gambling without being called gambling.
And it's not just Magic either. Like sports cards are the same way.
Yep.
Everything these days is the same way.
Well, look at the highly popular Genshin Impact.
Yep.
Free to play, guys.
Magic Arena is free to play.
Free to play. Look at Marvel Strike Force that we played for such a long time.
Yep.
I spent way too much money on that. Thankfully, I wasn't
free to play.
Thankfully, I wasn't playing Magic at the same time. I had bankrupted myself. This is just where we're at. To your point, it's the FOMO overload. It's the special arts. It's everything's released this way.
Yep.
And now we have these video games that are coming in as live service games.
Yeah, I started playing Pokemon Yellow again on my 3DS that I just dug out of a drawer, and I'm like, man, this is so refreshing because I know when it ends, I know everything I have, I know how to get everything, and it ends. It actually ends.
Yep.
And I don't have to worry about things that I might miss out on because I didn't play it this day. I can play it whenever I want.
That's right. That's right. I mean, when the night, day, and depending on time of year stuff in some of the newer Pokemon games actually matters, that kind of matters, but you can manipulate the game clock in your Switch or DS for those.
How many games are that way anymore?
Very few. And in fact, the gaming industry is moving even further. They're doubling down on the live service industry. Yep. And look at how badly Concord did. What did that last? 2 weeks?
God, 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks.
Disgusting.
And there's a new Marvel one coming out too, Marvel Rivals. That is a Marvel-centered shooter game like Fortnite.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? I just don't.
Marvel Rivals, look it up. It's I read it. I'm like, so it's just like Overwatch and just like those games, but it's a first-person shooter co-op game based in the Marvel universe.
Oh, I have seen this, Jesse. Barf. PvP shooter. Please explain to me, how does Wolverine shoot?
I don't know.
I mean, do characters that are pure melee combat? I see Black Panther in the artwork. How does Hugh function in a shooter, Jesse?
It's gonna be. I can guarantee you take Overwatch and you add Marvel skins to it. That's all it's gonna be.
Unbelievable.
In Marvel Universe locations, like you're gonna be in downtown New York City, shooting around, with Spider-Man, swinging around like you're running through like a street. You know how Spider-Man swing in front of you.
Yep.
It's yeah. Who asked for this? Nobody.
This hurts my head. And by the way, you too, chat and listeners, can play this game in 15 days, 21 hours, 1 minute, and 26 seconds, and counting. There's a literal countdown on the webpage.
Yep.
Got to build that hype. Got to build that hype. Yeah, like Hulk in this artwork is shooting green energy from his hand. Let me go back to this. He's shooting green energy from his hand, reflecting it off of Iron Man, and shooting down. Oh, God, there's audio on this. Stop. Oh, Magic is in the artwork. She has a sword.
Magic has a sword.
I hate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I only said that because a lot of the streamers that I watch from Marvel Snap are saying they're going to move to Marvel Rivals because Snap is so stale to them. And I started looking at it. I'm like, that's a completely different genre, though. Like,
yeah.
What is their answer to the card game stuff? Pokemon Pocket. That's the new kid on the block.
Yep.
Because you have Pokemon now. It's exactly the same as Magic. You open packs, and it's like the same quick games. So that's
I love Pokemon. I really do. I mean, I've got a Metagross tattoo. It's my favorite Pokemon. Steel Psychic types are easily my favorites. Am I going to do that? No.
I looked at it, and I had over the weekend. I'm like, I can get into it. I'll play free to play, and I'm like, wait, no, do not do this.
Do not engage. Oh God, I think we've beat this to death at this point tonight. I'm sad. I'm still sad. That's my final ruling on all of this. I'm very sad over the way things have gotten, and maybe it's because I'm older and more jaded or cynical. But I'm very sad about this and this game that I've loved for the last 30 years. It's not the same, and that's okay. But we're just making cards to make cards for new mechanics, new powerful card in the survey today. What brought you back to playing? Powerful mechanics? Powerful cards? I guess.
I mean, look, I go back to look how we reacted with Mythic Rare.
Mm-hmm.
The same way. And I still feel the same I did back then when 2008 when Mythic Rare came out. I think it's a terrible idea. It's creating scarcity, artificial scarcity to drive up price.
Yep.
Same exact way.
Yep. Here we go again. Wait till there's super Mythic Rares. You said it. You said it before. It's coming.
I did. It's going to be, I don't know what the color is going to be, but yeah.
It's coming. All right, Jesse. Was mine a song lyric or a flavor text?
Want to say it again? What yours was?
Now you can't escape. You are buried in doubt, and it pulls you down.
That feels like a Metallica lyric.
It's not.
No?
It is a song lyric. It's actually from one of your favorite bands.
Is it from Alter Bridge? No, Money.
It's Cry of Achilles.
Yeah, yep.
See, I left out the crying out line before this.
Oh. Yep,
yeah,
going in my head right now. Yep.
This is one of this is one of my favorite Alter Bridge songs. I love the guitar solo at the end, and the song just builds.
Yeah. Like the intro to that song?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's so good. I absolutely love it.
I don't know if you remember this, because I am the Alter Bridge, like you can't see it. I have Alter Bridge all around my desk. My whole front is Alter Bridge. The whole intro to that was actually left out from the single. That was not part of the single.
I didn't know that was a radio single.
When it came in, the electric guitar came in, that's how the single started.
Oh.
And everybody, including myself, is like, this feels like it's missing something.
Yep.
And the album came out, and we're like, holy shit, this why did they put this in the intro? Like, it's so awesome. And this scene Miles played it live. Oh man, he plays it live so good.
It's so. When I saw them at the Ritz here in Raleigh, they played Cry of Achilles, and it just blew me away. I'd never seen Alter Bridge. I've seen Creed. I saw Tremonti before, but after you talked them up, I was like, I got to go see them. And boy, do they deliver. So mine
7, Alter Bridge 7. They're going in the studio in 2015.
Nice.
If
you mean 2025?
Yes, sorry. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
God, this feels like a Crimson Vow card. So I'm going flavor text.
It is flavor text. It is,
but I have no clue what it would be. So if I'm dying as a bride,
it's an older card, and it actually is a William Shakespeare quote.
Aha. Oh, there's a couple cards that do have Shakespeare on them. I do not know what this one is.
Darkness.
Okay. With the controversial artwork on it.
Yep.
The artist of the original Darkness artwork is not a good person.
No.
So they've changed it since most people are buying the Warhammer artwork for Darkness now. That's a really good pull, Jesse. That was fun.
My other one is 100. Like now that I'm reading it, I guarantee, and it's actually incredibly close to the Cry of Achilles one.
Wow!
I have to say it. It's we were dressed in potential, now we are draped in sorrow.
Okay.
It's actually from a band I don't know. I've never actually listened to. It's called Silent Planet Native Blood.
Never heard of
them. Metal. So all I did, I searched for heavy metal doom lyrics.
So you're saying that Magic the Gathering is very metal and doom?
Well, while researching this, I didn't realize how hard it is to get a flavor text that doesn't either mention a character,
yes,
or a plane. It is incredibly hard.
Yep, I was flipping through Scryfall randoms to see if there was anything that jumped out at me, and I'm like, I'm going to hit Jesse with his favorite band right now, and we're going to hit him with Alter Bridge and see what he thinks of that.
We both got it right.
Yep.
But not the supreme detail. And maybe, maybe next time it'll be this again, or maybe it'll just be name a card and I'll give you hints, or you'll name a band or a song lyric, and because you're better at the Magic stuff and I'm better at the music stuff. So
yeah, that's a pretty general consensus we can make. All right, well, this was fun. Thanks for hanging out with us, Twitch Live. Who's there? I haven't seen anything come up on chat, but
I think we have chat closed, don't we? Oh,
no,
we don't.
But if you guys do want to find us, I have our socials up in chat. Come hang out. Wednesday nights we play Commander
tomorrow
on Spell Table tomorrow night.
I am Jesse Wolverine, the best there is after our Universes Beyond Grants. I'm still playing it.
Still playing it, and it's 100% proxy.
It is 100% proxy. It is not real.
Love it. I am undecided on what I'm playing, but it's always a good time. We always end up yelling at each other over stupid stuff, and it's either funny or depressing, like Magic the Gathering in general right now. So come hang out for more of that. So yeah, we'll be doing this every month. Obviously, topics kind of come to us as we have our normal discourse in our Discord chat, and we usually come up with something that's pertinent to what's going on. And next time, who knows? Maybe we'll be talking just about music or video games. This doesn't have to be all Magic the Gathering, but it's sure what we talk about a lot. So
maybe it'll be what we had for Thanksgiving. I don't
know. Hopefully I get to sleep. That's my goal for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is also my birthday this year. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. At least I get what I want for our meal and everything. And
usually I look forward to like the Thanksgiving Day football games, but when it's the Giants versus the Cowboys and both third string quarterbacks, it's like, do I even want to watch that?
I don't. Nobody wants to watch that, Jesse. The Fox Network is screaming right now, going, "Why did we book this?" Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. Gamer Dad Podcast. We'll be here next time, but Magic makes me sad right now. Very, very sad.
Don't buy singles, buy proxies.
Buy proxies. Be awesome out there, and we'll see you next time.